The Hawai'i Sports Radio Network on 95.1 FM and AM 760 presents Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani.
Good morning, beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den. I'm Ku'ule Agbayani, alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Welcome to the show on this final day of 2025. Hope you guys are having a great New Year's Eve so far, or if you're any of our other friends that are tuning in somewhere that maybe is already coming up to celebrating the new year. Happy New Year to you. And if you're going to listen to this on demand tomorrow, Happy New Year, everybody. Final day again, final show of 2025. Hence why we are doing a live stream today as well, because we're going to party and reminisce and talk about all the stuff that happened in 2025. And funny story before we get to some sports stuff before we walk down memory lane is I kind of tasked Paul with, you know, like just bring your top 2 to 3 sports moments from the year. And yeah, well, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. And then when I was starting to prep myself, I'm like, yeah, no, I think we'll just kind of go chronologically and all the things that have happened this year, because there are a lot. And yes, I came dressed, prepared for a New Year's show. I have, if you're not watching, I have a gold sequence jacket on, just in the New Year's vibe right now. And I had to wear it. I rarely get to wear any of my sequence stuff. So I'm like, you know what? This will give me an excuse to wear my gold sequence jacket and get in the New Year's vibe. And Paul, but I don't know if Paul has me beat though with his attire. It's
Maybe.
Pretty close. I thought like I was going to kill it today because I'm sparkly and it's a New Year's. It's a gold sequence, so it's very New Year's, very maybe Bruno Mars 2-4K-esque, you know, that Bruno era. But I don't know. Paul walked in with like a... because, I mean, it's perfect because it's one of the things we're going to talk about, too. The Tokyo toe phenomenon that happened in the football season. Paul is wearing a... So it's... The toe is drawn. And so it's a toe, like a massive toe, like takes up half the toe. T-shirt on, or like half of Paul's chest, essentially. So it's like a big toe, and then it's K-Y-O. So Tokyo. Toe.
It's a fun shirt. It's a gift from my mother. I think it was a birthday present from my mom.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I've had it for a while, but I've been saving it so I wouldn't wear it on the show. And then as I was going through my closet this morning, I'm like, man, I don't know if I have anything to match Koo's level of party for today with the sequins. And I know you have a couple of those jackets, right?
I have like 5.
So you've got a handful of those jackets. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't really feel like dressing up. That's not really kind of my thing. And then I saw this one, and I was like, this seems timely. It seems fun. And you know what? It was the year of the Tokyo toe.
Yes.
So why not celebrate it one last time? Because he's going to take over the NFL next, but he was ours first.
Yes.
He's always ours, but he was ours first.
And he calls Hawaii home, so he will always be ours.
Will always
Tokyo
be
toe. Hope you guys are getting ready for your celebrations. Make sure we are safe this evening. I already saw all over social media that the police are in full drone force. So there are drones up in the air.
Shoot the fireworks down?
Over Eva Beach in Waipahu. Why? I don't know. Why would they be around Eva Beach in Waipahu? What are they doing there? So I saw that on social media that they said that they are going to really heavily enforce the fireworks ban this year. I've heard like they busted some guys on the Big Island, all of that stuff. So either way, just make sure you guys are safe. Please take care of each other as we are headed into the new year and get ready to celebrate, because we all know that New Year's is kind of a big deal here in Hawaii. Paul, in case you haven't noticed, it kind of people love their New Year's.
Oh, really?
Here.
This is news to me.
Yeah, I've been here for a few years. Have you not noticed that?
I've slept through the night. I fall asleep pretty early. You know, I watch the ball drop over in Times Square, and then I fall asleep. Nothing ever wakes me up. I don't know. I don't know what you could possibly be referring to? No, just to echo your point, yes, be safe tonight, have so much fun, and start 2026 off on the right note, positive vibes, being nice to each other, and making responsible choices.
Oh, see, Mama Heather saying she loves the t-shirt debut. And the gold is fabulous. Thank you, Mama Heather, commenting there in the live chat. Yes, woohoo! All right, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna eventually get into the whole 2025 recap of just reliving some of the sports moments, sharing some of our personal memories with all of you. We encourage you guys to share some of your best memories, whether sports or personal, if you want to share, either on the live chat or you can text us at 808-888-KGU1. 808-888-5481. We'll get to that probably closer, if not completely, in hour number 2. Hour number 1, we'll definitely do, it's still an overall sports talk show, and there are some things going on in the news. We'll get into some Rainbow Wahine basketball a little later in this hour and let you guys hear from head coach Laura Beeman and what she had to tell the media yesterday, as the Rainbow Wahine are in action at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center tomorrow. So you can start off your New Year's that way, spending the time watching and cheering on the ladies as they host UC Riverside while the men are away at Riverside. And then Saturday, they host UC San Diego. And same thing, as you guys know, the men are away to play UC San Diego. So we talked about the men's team yesterday, so we'll talk about the women's team today. Also on Friday, that's where we were just saying, man, boom, 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 boom. Friday is men's volleyball season opener, and then they also play on Sunday against NJIT. So it's a full slate of UH sports action. We'll probably We'll probably get to men's volleyball on Friday's show, just because, I had to remember, like, oh yeah, we're still here on Friday morning. I was trying to jam everything today, but we'll see what happens.
We still have some time, and
Yeah.
funny enough, things will happen by Friday. So
Exactly.
we don't want to lean too much on that.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. But I do, and then we'll just talk a little bit of college football, because there are, some games that don't matter as much as the bowl games we've already seen already. So, but we'll get to some of those other games that are happening. There's like one game today, and there's a few games tomorrow.
We are never part of there are too many bowls or too many bowl games crowd. So if these little bowls want to get off and play now, that's okay. They can do that now. We know that the Hawai'i Bowl and the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the People's National Championships have already been played. So it's all good.
So, it's all good. I want to get into some of the breaking news that came out yesterday, and you heard Chaz on time mention it, that sad face. I'm like, I'm so sad, and it's funny because it's like, I'm angry because I'm so sad about it. It's like, I'm not actually angry at the kid, but I'm genuinely bummed. And that is QB2 and Luke Weaver announcing yesterday on his social media. We'll pull it up for you guys there, saying, quote, "I am extremely appreciative of my time spent in Hawaii. Thank you to Coach Chang, Coach Arsenault, Coach Kapanui, and Coach Socha for giving me an opportunity to be a Rainbow Warrior and for developing me as a player and as a man. Thank you to my teammates and all of Hawaii for welcoming me and making me feel at home for the past year. It has been an unforgettable experience, and I have met some lifelong friends and mentors. After a lot of prayer, thought, and discussion with family, I have decided to enter the transfer portal with 2 years of eligibility remaining. I am excited to see what God has in store for my next chapter." And again, this was one that it's not as shocking, but when it happens, it is kind of a bummer. But I posted on social, and there's nothing else I can say except, a shout out and mahalo to Luke Weaver for just coming in clutch throughout this Hawaii football season. I mean, not just being able to throw that game-winning pass to Nick Senecal in the Hawai'i Bowl, but being able to step in there, get 2 wins as a starting quarterback when Micah Alihado needed to rest his ankle. And Luke Weaver, in all our interactions with him, he's just been a great person. And I am really, really bummed. But at the same time, this is one of those situations where we saw what he could do. He proved what he could do out there on the football field. But it's quite obvious that Micah Alihado is and will remain QB1. And I think this guy can get a starting opportunity somewhere. And that's what he essentially wants, right? It's not the usual irritating transfer portal stuff that we're dealing with in these days where it's all about the money. Luke Weaver genuinely just wants to be able to be a starting quarterback somewhere at this level. Again, he came up from JUCO level and wants to be an FBS starting quarterback, and or potentially a high-level FCS school too. Don't blame him one bit for that. I understand it, but it's a bummer. And you can see how much the coaching staff, the fans have supported him. Even some of the most critical fans that I've noticed, like they're all like, I can't blame this guy. Like everyone's understanding about Luke Weaver entering the transfer portal. And like I said, we couldn't wish him like the best. I hope he gets a starting job somewhere except in conference. Now, if you go to, the Pac-12, we'll forgive you. Just don't go into the Mountain West. Other than that, outside of conference, all good. We genuinely, I'm just looking forward to the future for Luke Weaver. And, Coach Timmy had mentioned that he has dreams to become a coach one day, so maybe he could come back home and coach the University of Hawaii in the future when his playing career is all done. So yeah, it's a bummer as someone who just was rooting for him and, again, so appreciative of what he did here in his short time at the University of Hawaii. It pains me, but, it seems like I said everyone from, Chad Kapanui retweeting it. I saw, Jared Suo post something. So there's a lot of support from within the program and the fan base that everyone's just cheering on Luke Weaver now. And it's good to see because, again, he is definitely someone where you're like, you saw what he did. He proved himself on the actual football field, not just in practice and thinking like, oh, I can go and get a starting job. We saw what he could do. So go get him, Luke.
You beat me to the punch on a couple of things there where I was incredibly happy to see the support for this announcement because it sucks. I'll just flatly say that. It sucks to lose good players. It sucks to lose good people. Luke Weaver is both of those things. At the end of the day, this is what the transfer portal is actually for. Mm-hmm. This is a guy betting on himself. This is a guy who did not complain the entire season. Like you mentioned, he goes 2-0 in the time that he was called upon, and then in the biggest moment of the season, he steps up and throws a game-winning touchdown. He was awesome. He rooted for his teammates all the way through the year, worked his way up and down the depth chart. He was very fun to root for. And from what I know, this was definitely a hard decision for him. This wasn't like, man, I can't wait to get out of Hawaii as soon as the season ends. It really was one of those, I believe I can be an FBS quarterback. I believe I can be a starter somewhere. And Hawaii's got their guy. We do. We have Micah, and I think we have seen that. Timmy is loyal to the soil to almost to a fault sometimes once he picks you as his guy. We've got our guy there, and Luke deserves an opportunity to get playing time somewhere else. I'll echo your sentiment. Please don't go in conference. Just go somewhere else.
That's all.
Go somewhere else. That's
Pac-12
totally
is fine too. Pac-12 is fine too.
Go anywhere other than in conference. But if we end up playing against you, that'll be the only game that I root against Luke Weaver because incredibly kind human being, great guy to root for on the field. Was always incredibly respectful in media appearances as well. And this, by the way, not to be like a total dweeb, this is an appropriate social media post of saying goodbye. You know how sometimes apologies or sometimes announcements or, thank yous, you'll read them and you're like, this is ChatGPT generated. This is okay, buddy. This is a heartfelt, thank you, Hawaii. Thank you to the people who supported me, believed in me. Please follow me along as I'm going on. This is a real post, and I appreciate that from Luke Weaver. Got a lot of fans for life here in Hawaii, especially as long as he doesn't transfer in conference.
That's the only rule. That is literally the only thing that we ask of if you're going to leave us here. Or if you do, it'll be similar to what it was like when Jaren Keave-Sagapolutelli was on the other side. It's just sack him and then give him a pillow and we're going to root against you in that.
Hard.
Yeah. So again, a shout out and mahalo to Luke Weaver and even our friend out in Boise texting in that saying it's kind of cool how the football team and coaches were showing him love with that post. Even the comments from the public were very positive.
Amen.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of reminiscent to the Jalen Hurts Tua Tagovailoa and Alabama.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Kind of thing, right? Like people were rooting for Jalen, but then when you saw what happened, and then Tua seemed like he was going to be the starter there now in Alabama, and Jalen Hurts, used that opportunity to go elsewhere to be a QB1 again because he had lost that starting position to Tua Tagovailoa. But by all accounts, Jalen Hurts, just like Luke Weaver that we've interacted with, like incredible guy. Wish him the best. I guess it's his dad that's actually like happy with seeing everyone's post.
Mark?
He like retweeted
Yeah,
my
that's my
tweet,
dog.
and it's so.
Every time I tweet about Luke, he shoots me a like.
It's so awesome. So I'm glad that for a parent that's active on social media, I'm sure it's reassuring for him.
It's
Makes
nice
him
not
feel
to
good.
see your kid get torn apart.
I know.
Crazy thought.
Like I said, even like the most critical fans that are on social media were
Yeah.
like, all right,
Thank
can't be
you,
mad
Luke.
at this one. Yeah.
It's very much so been the thank you, Luke sentiment. Understandable. And listen, man, we've said it. We've been pretty consistent on here. We're not going to poo-poo people for chasing a bag and whatever. And listen, I hope Luke gets a bag as well.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's something else. Where this is one where I'm like, I hope somebody
Yeah.
drops backs up the Brinks truck for my boy. But he's not doing it for that reason.
Yeah.
He's going because he wants to compete, because he loves to play football. And we've been very consistent in here about, like, we will never, ever poo-poo somebody or say that's bad to hit the transfer portal when you're just trying to get an opportunity. That's what the transfer portal is there for. That's that's our pitch to players to come here to Hawaii.
Hey.
Come get an opportunity here. If somebody wants an opportunity to start somewhere else, I can't blame them for trying to get that.
Speaking of, Sibo Brown, come back.
Yeah, you want to
You want to come back?
home. Come home.
So Sibo Brown, formerly at the University of Hawaii, had transferred to Virginia Tech and is now back in the transfer portal. So you know what? Come back, because we were just talking about the other day how we need some.
Oh my God.
We need to reload in like the secondary at both corner and safety. So it's like, hey, come on back,
Would be a
Sibo.
massive
Sibo,
piece.
come on back. Now I don't know if he would want to go from Batak to like Hawaii again, but you don't know.
He was hurt last year, only played in 3 games, started
Everyone's
in 2
posting
of
about it,
them.
though.
Yeah. Well, because all of a sudden it's pinned again. His let's run it back, like whatever. It's interesting. It's certainly, for the social media sleuths, it's a fun little puzzle to take a peek at. It would not be, by any means, it would not be hurtful to see him come back. We hold no ill will.
Nope.
Come back home. He got his bag, and he didn't even really play for VT. At least I hope he got his bag.
I'm assuming.
Me too. But he didn't even have to really play for him, so it's like we can just forget it even happened.
Yeah. No,
He was hurt last year,
Yeah.
and he spent it on sabbatical on the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Closer to family. He's
Exactly.
closer to family.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that was part of the reason actually he like
Probably.
transferred and went that way. It was just like part of it was like family and stuff. So come on back. Come back home with Sibo Brown, because like I said, especially now, and maybe he's seeing that too. He's like, well, there's all this opening in my position, so might as well come
Playtime
back home.
Fits
Let's
well
go.
in the system.
Yeah. Play for a guy that could potentially get you into the NFL or give you that extra leg up. In Dennis Thurman, by all accounts,
You had
he's
the best
staying.
season of your career under
Dennis
him.
Thurman, don't enter the transfer portal, please. Thank you.
Or the retirement portal.
Yeah. Well, can't blame anyone for. I mean, I prefer not, but
I'm
transfer
asking.
portal.
I'm not. Listen, I can't. I don't have any control. Listen, if you think DTs listen to anything,
No.
I'm saying I got bad news for you guys. But I'm asking. Don't enter the transfer or the retirement
yeah.
portal. That's all. Stay
stay.
in the Hawaii coaching football portal.
That's all we want. You can. We promise you can continue to avoid media.
Yeah, I will
media
laugh
bill.
every time you avoid us. It's okay.
Anyways, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's stick with football. Let's get to recapping Paul's Parlor. Hey, I know that was a request, and I said we would keep it here for our YouTube episode and our final show of the year. So when we come back, we'll stick with the Hawaii football conversation and get to the Paul's Parlor recap of UH football. So we'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ule Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Ku'ule Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel. Final show of 2025. We are off tomorrow, and we will be back here with you guys on Friday for the first show of 2026. But we are kind of half going through memory lane and getting into some sports. Again, we'll talk some Rainbow Wahine basketball coming up a little later as well before we start our full recap of 2025. But we do want to somewhat recap the Hawaii football season in that we got Paul's Parlor. In case you guys are wondering what that is, before the 2025 football season, Paul was like our odds maker in a sense here, where we took a look at the schedule and accounted for that, and Micah Alihado being QB1, everything, and the returners, all of that stuff. And Paul set some lines for different categories of this football season, and we haven't had time to really. I know it does. We haven't had time to go over it, but some of you were able to submit your answers as well. So it was a fun time, and we did our picks before the season as well. So we'll just go through it real quick. So starting off first though with the Hawaii football points per game average. So the line was set at over under 26.5 points per game. Paul, where did we land on that?
Well, it's an easy over, Koo. That one, so I always had a good feeling that one was probably set too low as a line. Early on in the year, though, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, the Stanford game.
Maybe I was a little too optimistic about it. But, yeah, that one ended up being a pretty easy over. All the responses to Paul's Parlor ended up being over 26.5 points per game. And we just got done talking about Luke Weaver. He's a good reason for that as well. Kind of helped the offense put up points still in Micah Alejado's absence early on in the season. So he helped contribute to that. So
what did we land on, 28?
29 points per game.
Woo! That was very fun for a lot of Hawaii football fans.
To be fair, it did go up after the bowl game as well, too.
Oh, you're taking into account the bowl game.
I am going to take into account the bowl game because I did look back and I never specified that this was a lone 12-game season in the description. It's just the 2025 campaign. So if you believed that the Bows were going to make a bowl and made your predictions off of that, Positive Paul will take that into account. I will take that. Also, it makes for less work for me, so I don't have to take into account one less game for
maybe
stuff.
And then next season we'll specify. Maybe next season we'll have like an actual prize on the line, and then we will specify.
It'll be a little more fun. We'll do it with more time.
Yeah, this is a good starting point. All right, next one. QB Micah Alihado, average passing yards per game. The total was set at 300 yards per game. Now, looking back, we know that Micah was out for a couple of games, but he did have some massive games as well. So where did that it almost feels like it's right there, but not having him in a couple of those games might have hurt a little bit. But where did Micah end up at?
Your gut feeling has you correct there, where he just finished short of the 300 yards per game average. He ends up at 282 per game, and I do look back at that Arizona contest, and I think, what if he doesn't play in that game? Because we all know that he wasn't fully healthy going into it, and it only got worse during that game. Luke Weaver ends up finishing it out, and, what if Micah doesn't play that game? Then he doesn't have these small kind stats from one game and one extra game to divide his numbers out, but at the end of the day, he falls just short of it.
Ooh, how many people were on what sides? Was it kind of split?
We had one response said under 300. So shout out to them.
All right, next one. We'll go one more, maybe two more before we go to break, and then we'll continue it. Again, we're doing Paul's Parlor, where Paul Brecht over here set some of these lines for the season ahead of the 2025 UH football campaign. Next one, again, sticking with Micah Alihado, season passing yards total over under 3,041, which was the freshman QB single season record.
And this is important now that we made the distinction between regular season and including the bowl game, because including the bowl game, Micah does now have the record. I have to make sure that counts in the record books. I don't know.
Probably not.
I legitimately have no idea. But in that case, including the Cal game, yes. Not including the Cal game, he falls just short, just about 100 yards short, I believe.
Ooh, good one. This was a painful one. This is the one I had high hopes for. Micah Alihado's season interception total over under 4.5. I mean, that was like just over, right?
So the funny thing is, if you take out the Fresno State game, it is just over. Because he had, 3-4 against Fresno? That's the lone. He had 3 against Fresno. He had 9 on the season. So without that game, he gets pretty close. He also toss in, I think it was the Arizona game where it was like the tipped screen pass that was like a whatever.
Yeah.
So he ends up going over. He doesn't set a new record, whatever. It's fine.
It's fine. And just to remind everyone, 5 interceptions is the UH record for the least in a single season, with the minimum 200 attempts. So fortunately, yes, Micah going over, but like you said,
it's another shot next year, though.
Yep.
I'll probably set the line.
I feel like that's about that. I think that's a good one.
I'm probably going to do the same thing again next year, if I'm being honest with you.
We'll keep that over there. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We still got a bunch more. Again, we're recapping the UH football season and utilizing Paul's Parlor and the line totals that he set. So we'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Taste those clouds away. Welcome back to all of you, the beautifulest of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network on this New Year's Eve, or for some of our other friends that tune in, like our friend Alex in Adelaide but is currently in Melbourne. Welcome and Happy New Year! Woohoo! Happy New Year to all of our friends that are currently in the new year. We still got a long way to go here in Hawaii, but a shout out to you. Shout out to Alex, who has been tuning in from usually Adelaide, but again in Melbourne. So we welcome all of you guys in as we are streaming live on our YouTube channel for our New Year's Eve party, and I'm excited to continue our recap of the UH football season, and mainly for Paul's Parlor purposes. Again, Paul Brecht here was our sports book odds maker leading up to the UH football season, in which he set average and line totals for some of these different categories. And we're just going through them real quick because we didn't get a chance to as well. We had some of you also that filled out the Google Doc and participated in it, as well as we did as well. So we had just gone over the interception. So now let's get to the more positive side. Micah Alihado's season passing touchdown total. Where are we?
Man, that was... I sit there and I'm like, man, 30 touchdown. Maybe it's just from watching the Jets all year. So here's the thing, actually. Micah Alihado himself did not reach the over on this. Micah Alihado and Luke Weaver combined threw for 30 touchdowns this season. So those two games that Micah did end up missing, 2+ games that Micah did end up missing, did ultimately seem to hurt his chances at becoming the first UH quarterback since 2019, Cole McDonald, to throw for 30 touchdowns. But the Bows, as a team, did throw for 30 touchdowns this year. So, once again, I feel pretty good about these lines.
Good line.
This is the first time I've ever set the lines like this, so I feel pretty good for year number one. I'm not going to lie.
We are friends at Circa. Got to hire you.
I don't know if I'm that good yet. They're way better than me.
All right, let's go. Number of UH receivers with 1,000 or more receiving yards in 2025. Over under 1.5 receivers with 1K plus receiving yards. I remember this one. I remember saying that I was going to go under for him because I felt like Micah was going to spread it around, and everyone ate. And now we know Jackson Harris was the top target, but he still was able to throw it around. So where did we end up there?
We actually ended up at 0, even with Jackson Harris. So you were right.
Woohoo!
I mean, it was under, but a very, very productive year. When you go back and look at it, you have, 9 players who end up with 100 or more receiving yards, including a tight end in Devin Tauefa, who, shout out to the tight ends.
Yeah.
You love when they get involved, but not included. You had 8 different receivers with 200-plus yards this season. And then, obviously, Fele had a great finish to the year. He finishes as the second top receiver behind Jackson Harris, and he also announced he's coming back next year. So, it's nice to have that guy back. 0, though, for 1,000-yard receivers this year.
It's okay. Again, it's for a good reason.
Yeah,
it's not because they couldn't catch the ball. It's because everybody ate this past season, and we can anticipate that to continue moving forward as well. All right, let's go to the running game. UH running backs, yards per carry average, over under 4.5 yards per carry. And again, running backs only you have this here. So where do we land? I forget what I picked, but where do we land on this one?
Let's see. What did I have for... We had most people say over on this one. And overall, without looking at the average for all of them ends up being just over 4.5. Like, minuscule I had. But then I look at David Cordero, and he throws things off at 3.6. So hang on. I actually don't know this.
Oh.
I had it before, but then I did not realize David Cordero was right there at 3.6 because Otherwise, Cam Barfield, Landon Sims, and Christian Vaughn all go over 4.5 this year. 4.6, 4.6, 5.1, but then 3.6 by David Cordero might throw things a little bit off, Koo. Let's come back to that one.
Okay, we'll come back.
I can do the math on that one.
Okay, we'll come back to that one. All right, let's go to Hawaii football. This is defense. Points per game allowed. Over under 27.5 points per game allowed by the defense. Over or under?
What do you think on this one, Koo? What's your memory serve?
God. Under.
It was under.
Yeah, I'm
correct.
like, yeah.
Say it with confidence. They allowed 24 points per game this year.
See, okay, I was like, I feel like it's over 20 though, so that's why I was
It is
like,
over 20. They allowed 24 points per game. They took a step under Dennis Thurman in year 2, despite having some question marks throughout the year in the defensive backfield, despite some big injuries, especially Jemai Otis going down late in the year was not fun to deal with. But nonetheless, they took a step under Dennis Thurman in year 2, and I would think that they could do that again in year 3, depending on how their portal haul looks. So, yeah, that was a pretty easy under, and funny enough, that was a unanimous choice.
I was going to say, everyone had confidence in under. Nice.
Everybody said the under on that one.
All right, interceptions, another fun one. You had the total set at over under 7.5 interceptions by UH's defense.
This was over by 0.5.
Ooh.
They got 8 interceptions this season. It's the first time since the 2022 season that the Rainbow Warriors have 8 or more interceptions in the year. Plus, they also feels like they forced 800 trillion fumbles this year as well. So the defense, not only were they pretty good at stopping the opponent from getting into the end zone, they also turned the ball over at a pretty good clip, both in the air and by punching it out. So good on them. Kudos to them. That one was a 2/3 split, we'll say, towards the over. So most people got that one correct.
Nice. All right. We got a few more here. Again, Paul's Parlor recapping the Hawaii football season. I think this will be fun, and it seems like people were interested. We put this together last minute, so maybe for the next football season, we'll definitely plan to do this again so we can get more people to participate and maybe have a fun prize for it. Because this is, I don't know, our guy Paul is like pretty spot on. Even considering that Micah got injured, it's still...
Tell you what,
like landing in there.
I'm chalking it up to beginner's luck, but if I'm this close again next year, Vegas might be hearing from me.
Again, we kind of, Circa, I think Paul could use like, hey, you can have a backup job there at Circa to set your lines. Let's see. All right. Okay. Number of UH players who register 5 sacks or more in 2025, over under 1.5 players with 5+ sacks.
This one ended up being really, really close, despite really fun pass rush. But it isn't over. You got Jackie Johnson III at 7.5. You got Dejon Benton at 5.5. So we just make the over with 2 players hitting 5+
and that's
sacks.
not including the Hawaii Bowl because they didn't have sacks in the Hawaii Bowl.
Correct. So...
Ooh.
There's that for all the beautiful people who believed in that. That one was actually a more so like 3/4 of the people believed that the pass rush would get home this year for the Rainbow Warriors. So good on you who believed in the defensive line especially. And funny enough, Lester Laisene Longafuaina, see, I wanted to get his full name in there. He finished just under it. He's at 3.5, and he was sniffing at a couple of sacks this year that could have... That sounds bad out of context. That's crazy. Sorry, Lester. But he was right there. He was almost there on a few sacks this year.
Took me a minute to get that.
I'm like, ooh, wow, that was phrasing. Pardon. But Lester, he also announced he'll be back next year, and he's a guy who very much so comes screaming off the edge all of the time. He'll be a menace against opposing quarterbacks. He almost was the 3rd guy to finish with 5 or more.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
It did. Like, I honestly, it would have went past me if you didn't say something.
As soon as I said it, I'm like, that's the I think phrase, or that's a basketball player in me, because I hear all the basketball guys be like, oh, phrasing, pause, bro.
Okay, so you did have a bonus question in here regarding the sacks and said if it is over, so if people selected over, the bonus was who is leading the team. Who was kind of the answer for people? Was it Jackie Johnson?
So we did get a few Jackie Johnson responses. Peter Monuma also got a fun call out.
Oh, wow.
I think Peter had like the first sack of the year and then didn't get a sack after that. But yes, Jackie Johnson was the overwhelming favorite by the people who called over on sacks this year.
And they were right. You
they
guys
were
know your
correct.
stuff too. There you go. All right, couple more here for Paul's Parlor. This one, I know I went under on this one, but for good reason. So, and we didn't know that this was going to be the Kansei Matsuzawa type of year.
Know.
Little did we know. But if he hit more of these, he probably would have.
The Lou Rosa people would have loved him more, I guess.
Number of 50-plus yard field goal makes for Kansei Matsuzawa. You set the total at half, so 0.5 makes from 5 or over 50. I said under simply because I felt like the offense, and for the most part, they did that. For the most part, I thought this offense would continue to get us into position where Kansei wouldn't be kicking from over. Not that I didn't believe he could make over 50 yards, but it's because I'm like, I don't even know if it'll come, but it did. And it was early, right? I want to say it was like
very early in the
it was second game or something.
I remember we had it on social media that it was like it's the first Paul's Parlor to hit this year.
Yeah.
And like you said, you were on the under, and actually most people were on the under with you. Mostly, I have to imagine, because of opportunity. And ultimately, he only got the one opportunity until the bowl game. And then obviously the bowl game, he was 2 for 3 that day. So he ends up the year of the Tokyo Toe. He ends up going over on that. He was our first Paul's Parlor wager to hit. And then he knew that he just didn't need to kick from 50 for the rest of the regular season. So shout out to him.
Woohoo! Shout out Tokyo Toe. All right. Last but not least, this is a fun one because it kind of, the way the year went, we really didn't know that the things were going to happen the way that it did, but a total of all Mountain West first team or second team selections for UH in 2025. Wow, that's low. Now that we look about it. This is the one, and this is based on like precedent and like the preseason selections, all of that stuff too. So over under for total of all Mountain West, again, first or second team, so collectively, over under 1.5 players on first or second team combined, and that hit way over for the Rainbow Warriors. Did a lot of people? I think I went over.
Let's see. That one was a unanimous belief that it would be more than it would be 2 or more players, and you were all correct. You were all correct. Congratulations. Good job. We love ending the year on a positive note. Woo! Especially when it's positive belief like that in your team. And yeah, the Rainbow Warriors, I believe it was a record, 11 placed on the Mountain West teams this year, including 2 of the specialty awards, including the special teams player of the year for the entire conference and the freshman of the year for the entire conference, the first freshman of the year in UH program history in the Mountain West, and the second special teams player in program history in the Mountain West. So a historic season by Timmy Chang's Bows. Just blows the line out of the water. 1.5. They said you should have set it at 10.5, brother.
I know. That's why it'll be interesting what next season will be. Now, we lost a significant amount of players, including those that made it on the first and second team selections due to graduation and transfers and whatnot. So this will be an interesting one to kind of for you to put together next season. Again, I think this is a good starting point, but shout out to you, Paul. I think this is a pretty, it's pretty spot on in terms of, for the most part, like you said, even with the touchdown total now, because Micah was out a couple of games, didn't hit the over on the touchdown total. But if you take into account Luke Weaver and the games he played, so collectively, again, the line was set at 29.5 touchdown passes. With Luke Weaver there, they hit the 30. So I thought that's kind of the most fun too, is like, well, I guess it's not completely
right
off
it's
base.
Hey, there was a reason for the number. It just, you can't account for injuries. That's part of gambling. That's part of going to the parlor. The house House wins on that one. Sorry.
Because it says specifically Micah Alejado.
It does.
Like you said, you didn't specify with or without postseason, but you did specify the player. So there you go. It's not like the all Mountain West selections where it's like both first and second team combined. But that was so fun. Thank you, and shout out to some of you that participated again. Well, we'll do it up again next football season and probably promote this even more and maybe have some fun prize at the end too. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, like this is a good experiment here, and like I said, shout out Paul for being pretty darn spot on with some of these, because I mean,
you can say it. Lucky.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Hey-o. So there you go. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap up our number one on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake up in the den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Ku'ulei Agbayani, Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, HawaiiSportsRadio.com. And on demand, but I was going to say, and live on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, both are true. So I forgot we had to get back to one last thing on Paul's Parlor with the running backs.
I did the math.
Yeah, so Paul was able to do the math. So going back to our Paul's Parlor, running backs, yards per carry average, the total was set at 4.5 yards per carry. Running backs only.
And that was very specific about that.
Yeah, it didn't have been in all caps to only.
Because I didn't want the Micah Alejado or Luke Weaver or DeMarcius Davis or the Billy Gowers or any of those of the world to throw us off. And, well, David Cordero, you son of a gun, you threw it off just a little bit, but not enough. They finish over at 4.58 yards per carry this season. So they take a little step forward this year. So good job to them. Congratulations to the running backs. Thank you to Vanilla Beast Mode for all your service. Landon Sims, we will miss you as you go off into whatever your future may entail. Hope to see you around some Rainbow Warrior games. And hopefully we see Cam Barfield back here for the Bows next year. All accounts seem that that's going to be the case, but we'll see on January 2nd through 12th what eventually happens.
We'll see what happens starting on Friday. But nonetheless, yes, shout out to the UH football team, and we'll get to some of the other stuff. Again, recapping the season coming up in hour number 2. We'll talk some Rainbow Wahine basketball as well in the second hour. Want to go through some of your chats here in the live chat. Oh, hello, Colin. Oh, Colin tuning in from the continent.
Woo!
Yeah, happy New Year to you, Colin. And oh man, we were just talking about how UH football feels like it's done, but it's going to start on up here in no time. We'll see the action with the transfer portal opening up pretty soon, and then also spring practices will start pretty soon as well. If we to remind everyone, last year they started like in February, way earlier than anyone else. So football season is going to be here in no time. Let's see. Happy New Year again from Alex, who's not in Adelaide right now, in Melbourne. Let's see. Caesar, a little late to the party because he's having a New Year's Eve party today. Hope you're having a good party, Caesar. He wants to know who sang that Brand New Day song. I don't know. It's from our royalty-free music, so I have to go look up who that is exactly. He wants to submit his favorite sports moment of the year, which is no surprise here. Favorite sports moment of the year was the Luke Weaver game-winning touchdown pass last week. So
great pick.
What a week. And I can imagine that's a lot of people, especially because it's recent. So people are going to definitely remember that one. That's definitely one of my top picks as well. Favorite moments from the show saying is us asking Micah if he's Filipino. And him and Caesar finding out that I am not related to Benny Agbayani because he always thought that I was. So
those are fair moments to have as your favorites from this year.
Yeah. So surprise, yes, not related to Benny Agbayani, but I do want to effort having him on the show because I think it'd just be fun. It would be like a full circle moment that we still get the two Agbayanis in here and see what happens. But Uncle Benny, I'll just message him on Instagram and be like, Uncle.
Hey, Uncle, how's it?
Remember that time that I told this story before, but when I think we're having a car wash. This is when I was at Mililani High School, and I think we were having a car wash at Mililani Town Center for soccer. And then my teammates and I went into like the Starbucks over there, and he was in line, and I even told him, I was like, hey, I have your same last name. And he's like, really? And I think I showed him my student ID.
Right.
And then he bought my Starbucks.
Shout out him.
Like, shout out.
That's huge.
Shout out Benny. So he's like, all right. It's like, cool. So I guess, yeah, that's my uncle.
That's my uncle. Or at least close enough.
Yeah. Let's see. Alex saying too many favorite sports to submit, but I'm definitely enjoyed. Oh, Milani McBee breaking the 3-point record. Hey, I love that.
Great call.
Women's basketball memory. Thanks for that, Alex. Let's see. Something about the Mets that Caesar's putting in there.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about trades that they're going to try and make during this offseason. I've heard all of these from my friends back home as well. So, Listen, for his mental health, I hope that they make at least a few of them because I know that David Stearns has been being memeified by the Mets fan base because of how inactive they have been so far. So
I love that. Memeified. On that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be back for hour number 2, talk some Rainbow Wahine basketball, hear from head coach Laura Beeman, and then get into recapping 2025 on this final show of 2025. We'll be right back on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Wake Up in the Den, hour number 2. I'm Ku'ulei Agbayani alongside Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com, and streaming live on the final show of 2025 on our YouTube channel. So thank you for hanging out with us and joining the New Year's Eve party here that we're having in Hawaii. And again, encouraging you guys to have a lot of fun today. And of course, though, be safe and enjoy your time with loved ones and take care of each other as we are headed into 2026, which 2025 feels like it flew by. So coming up a little later in this hour, we will pretty much spend a lot of time recapping 2025, going through some of the sports moments, encouraging you guys to chime in either via the live YouTube chat or texting in at 808-888-KG1. That's 808-888-5481. And yeah, we'll just go through it. Like I said, I thought I could limit it to just a few sports memories, but there was a lot of things after I started going through my camera roll, and I'm like, this is like too much stuff to limit. But yeah, we're excited to go through all of that stuff with you, and I know we had some that were already sharing some of their favorite moments, but we'll give it back into that a little later. I do want to start off hour number 2, though, because as we mentioned, I mean, today is almost like the off day in a sense from local sports, because it will just be straight through starting tomorrow on New Year's Day of UH being back in action with the men's and women's basketball teams opening up the new year and opening up the full Big West Conference slate tomorrow. Again, Rainbow Wahine here at home at Banco Arena at Stan Sheriff Center, hosting UC Riverside when the men are away to play Riverside. And then Saturday, each playing UC San Diego. Friday, a men's volleyball season opener already. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just reminded myself. That's what I forgot to ask you to ask Charlie at the end of Media Avails. How about them Bears? Charlie Wade is, you guys didn't know, Charlie Wade is a Chicago Bears fan as well. So I knew I was forgetting to, I know I have to ask Paul to ask Charlie a question.
So funny, actually.
Like, dang it. Because I remember he and I having like this really like, I don't know, 5-10 minute conversation at a baseball game, at a UH baseball game about the Chicago Bears and what this season could look like. And we were talking about Ben Johnson, and it was just
That's so funny.
we were getting all into it. And then I was just like, now that I haven't had a chance to really, I mean, I did see him briefly in the at the UH football game, but we didn't really get to have like our full conversation about like, oh my gosh,
right,
how
the
are
Bears.
those Bears? Like, what?
So
what are we talking about now? They're in the playoffs, so they are the kings of the North. Like, that is just incredible to say. But anyways, men's volleyball opens up their season this Friday and also play on Sunday. So it's just straight through tomorrow through Sunday, and then we are full steam ahead with not only collegiate basketball, because here we do cover UH, as you guys know, obviously, but we do spend a lot of time covering HPU and doing a lot of HPU broadcasts. And then OIA, we have OIA basketball on Friday as well. So, woo! Let's rock and roll, Paul.
Never stops. I'm pumped for it. It's going to be a great way to start the new year. It's been a great way to spend 2025, so why would 2026 be any different, especially with a bunch of teams who I'm excited to watch? You know, we talk about the men's basketball team, we talk about the women's basketball team, we talk about the men's volleyball team. I can't wait to watch all of them. If I could just watch them all straight in a row, and that's just how my days go, that is going to be how my days go. I'm pumped. Hope to see you guys out there, and can't wait to talk about it even more with you guys, because now rubber really hits the road for the men's and women's basketball teams.
Yeah, and this is where, going back to the women's basketball team, again, the Rainbow Wahine 6-6 so far overall, but been in a lot of these close losses to some of these teams because it's just they can't get over the turnover hump yet. Now this is when it starts to really matter, though. The conference slate, again, just losing by 2 points to Cal State Fullerton, and just losing by 5 to UC Davis to open up the Big West season during Big West Bold Week. but a lot of those games riddled with turnovers, so that's something they're looking to face. But before we kind of talk about this upcoming matchup against UC Riverside and then UC San Diego on Saturday, I wanted to let you guys hear what head coach Laura Beeman had to tell the media yesterday. And it just starts with her response to being asked, what things have stood out in this first few practices after coming back from break.
I think the execution has been a little bit better. I think that we're producing a little bit more as far as not turning the ball over, which has been our Achilles heel. I mean, it's been terrible. The intensity has been better. I think the girls are tired of turning the ball over the way we're turning it over, and so their focus has really been on making those adjustments. So I think practices the last 2 or 3 days have been really intense. The expectation has been higher as well as a little bit shorter fuse with making the same mistakes over and over. But they've accepted that and they understand that. And they know it's necessary in order to grow where we currently are.
When it comes to restarting conference play, is there an added advantage or benefit to starting at home this weekend?
Probably not having to meet on the continent. That's hard, where everyone's out doing their family thing and you meet on the continent and you're kind of back with your family, but you're not. The men are doing it right now, and Alana and I talked before they left. He was like, hey, tell me, what you've done in the past, your strategy. And it's like, go get really good food and stay in a fun place so your kids are having a good time, and then make the drive to Riverside. I think for us, with a young team, having them back here and having them in some structure and in their own dorms, in their own apartments, we can make sure that they're eating correctly. All of those different things with the young team is really important. So I do think starting here on Thursday will be fun. I'm hoping we have a good crowd. It's always hard when you have volleyball on a Friday night between a Thursday, Saturday. There's not going to be any students here. So I'm hoping that the air is not taken out of the Stan Sheriff when we come out and there's 600-700 people here. I hope that we're going to play for the right reasons, which is to get ourselves back on track.
Coach, how much, I know, Big West play is underway, but how much have you and your staff thought about what life's going to be like in the Mountain West in terms of, some of the other factors like travel and whatnot?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I think right now, though, our focus is Big West.
Mm-hmm.
We're 0-2, and that's not where we thought we would be. So, talking about the Mountain West and travel isn't what's going to get us out of that hole. Obviously, we need to be better as far as our execution, being able to handle pressure, being able to play at a more physical pace. We've had some really good wins in the preseason, and we've had some really bad losses. And so I look at those things like, okay, this is a team comparable to maybe a Mountain West team. Obviously, a year is going to bring us a lot more experience if we keep this roster together. And that's the big if, is I can't start thinking about Mountain West when I don't even know what team I'm going to have coming back with NIL. If I have the money, are they going to stay? If I don't have the money, are they going to leave? And so right now, it's more just believing in our process, being really patient, trying to get ourselves out of this hole in the Big West, and then starting to just kind of cross my fingers that the ledge comes through with money, and I think they will. I think they understand the importance. And then we look at the transfer portal, if we have to, after season.
When it comes to some of these freshmen, like you've talked about, a younger team, the semester break can sometimes be seen as a tipping point one way or another for some. How do you expect this group to respond to that semester break? How do you expect them to take that next step?
I think overall they're pretty excited. I think we have to tighten up our lineup. I think that we've given kids 12 games now to show one way or another what they're able to do or where they're still struggling. And obviously the kids that are still struggling, you work them out, you continue to grow their game. But we've had to tighten up our lineup a little bit going into conference play because now we kind of see what's there. Yes, that's hard for a player maybe to get out of that hole when they're not getting a lot of court time in game situations, but that's what practice is for. And if you can show out in practice, we'll be the first staff that says, okay, we can extend that lineup a little bit. But if not, then we're going to have to tighten things up so that we can get wins now.
When it comes to Riverside, what sticks out about them as you guys prep for them?
I think anybody who plays us right now will be foolish if they don't pressure us. whether it's in the half court, whether it's in the full court. So we're absolutely going to see pressure, whether that's in a half court set, just getting the ball into our offense with great spacing, or are they going to cause us to frantically drive into crowds and turn the ball over? I think a lot of people know with certain players of ours that if they bring a crowd, they've had a hard time getting off the ball. So I think with Riverside, we're going to see pressure, whether it's full court, half court, or both. They're a team that shoots the ball very well from the outside, quick triggers, good depth, and then they have, just the ability to break you down one-on-one. So I think it's going to come down to our ability to not turn the ball over and be able to score at the same pace as them. Our defense is still struggling. As good as it is at times, it's not where it needs to be. And so stopping them from scoring isn't where we're going to be, in my opinion, Thursday night. We're going to have to score at the same clip as them, and that's going to require us to have a 12-14 turnover game, not a 21-27.
And that was UH women's basketball head coach Laura Beeman, and a little quick snippet of what she had to tell the media the other day ahead of their them fully opening up the Big West Conference slate, and a lot of expectation for this team, especially if you guys have been out here, and I hope you have or have watched this team. They are a very, very fun bunch to watch, except for when you want to rip your eyeballs out because they turn over the basketball too many times. But like she said, it's like she knows, the team knows, that's definitely the big thing that they got to fix. And as we've mentioned on the show multiple times, I believe that they're in their ability to be able to fix that at least throughout the first, definitely it better be fixed throughout this first half of the Big West Conference season. And all you can ask for is to peak at the right time, get into the conference tournament, and you go from there. But, I mean, you look at someone like Bailey Flevel, like she has just been phenomenal at the transitioning into this level, but she has been one that has turned over the basketball a lot too. So if she can kind of limit those, and again, it's a little bit of getting comfortable. I think Coach Beeman made a good point about them being able to start at home this weekend with a young team where they can go, when they can go through their routine. I don't know. She gave a good answer though. When they can go through their routine. And now they're heading into the full Big West Conference slate and the difference between starting on the road and going through all of that, even though they kept those two conference road games really close. But it is, especially when it's like the holidays and being able to get into, this routine and get set for UC Riverside. Now, good for them. They don't have as long as of a layoff as the men did, but we can expect a fun game against UC Riverside tomorrow and then UC San Diego on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I always enjoy conference matchups because anytime you play a divisional rival, a conference rival, whatever it is, there's a level of familiarity there or a extra level of intensity there. And I think you'll see that from this Rainbow Wahine team. Maybe it's the optimist in me. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe this is why I've stuck with the Jets for the last 15 years. I don't know. I really believe this team will figure it out with the turnovers, and the talent is there otherwise. And I also they didn't have Jovi Lefotu for the majority of the non-conference schedule. She's working her way back into game shape and playing the minutes that you'd like her to play. You have a senior in Izzy Forsyth who has played a lot of basketball for a good program in UC San Diego. I would expect her, now that she's feeling a bit more healthy, and get her into the rotation. And listen, I love the young players. I think they are great. I think they have done great things this year, and we've talked about this before, more so on the men's side, but here on the women's side as well. After that semester break, you normally see freshmen start to evolve. They go from, oh, whoa, this is college, to, all right, I'm here now. I'm ready to go. The speed, the size, the physicality, all of these different things doesn't take them by surprise anymore. I would expect to see that jump from at least a handful of these freshmen. Obviously, Bailey Flevel, she's been great scoring the ball, but if she can stop turning the ball over in clips, that would be great, because then all of a sudden her plus minus goes up even higher, because it's not that she's bad on defense. It's not that she doesn't rebound. It's not that she can't score. It's just that she turns the ball over sometimes. And, and that's the case for more than just her, but she's the most obvious one to point out when it comes to the young players. I would expect her and a handful of others to be better now as the semester break has eclipsed and gone forward. So I don't know. I'm not worried about this team. I think there's too much talent on the roster to really worry about them not figuring it out. I think the coaching staff is too good. And I was at practice yesterday, or before practice yesterday, and I watched as two freshmen two freshmen worked out before or after practice. I think it's after practice. But they sat and they worked there with coaches on their games, with scoring, with ball handling, with these little things. Like, the desire to be great is there. This team will be good. And that's good because it's not going to be easy for them in their final year in the Big West. There are a lot of talented teams, and Riverside is certainly looking to keep the Rainbow Wahine winless in the Big West to start things out.
I just thought about it. I was like, dang, we should have planned accordingly. It would have been fun to do a Paul's Parlor for the basketball season.
I thought it while we were doing the recap of the football season. I was like,
basketball
would have been
stars.
fun. Yeah. This one would have been a little bit more difficult, I think, because I had no idea just how good either way it would have been. So the lines probably.
So I was thinking we could have done one like for this slate of Big West games. So because we would have had an idea,
true.
but it's okay.
That's okay. That's fair.
Okay. Well, next year. We'll head for next year with the Rainbow Wahine and Rainbow Warrior basketball team. A couple more things, though. I mean, Coach Beeman was the most open about the health of the team. And I say that as a chuckle because, well, one, again, and you mentioned it a little bit, Jovi Lefotu also saying that, she's getting worked back. She's feeling better. There was a really good video post on social media of like a quick interview with Jovi and her having to just get over the mental hump of making sure that like her knee is okay. Again, she's at like that where we mentioned that 8-month mark that you're supposed to be fully recovered physically, but it's just getting over that mental hurdle of being able to not think that you're going to get hurt again. So again, shout out to Jovi, and shout out Lily was in town. She mentioned that she spent her holidays with her sister who is in town. So that was really nice. I'm sure that's kind of a good boost for Jovi to have, considering how close her and Lily are. But Coach Beeman, when asked about the health of the team, I'm like, wow, that's actually a more info that I would ever expect. She said overall healthier than they've been is what she said. And she said, but some ladies, didn't specify, some ladies will be day to day leading up to the game tomorrow. But I'm like, that's more information that she usually divulges for when anyone asks her for injury. She'll be
expected.
Like,
the roster's
full.
Still intact. Like that was my, I expected that answer where it was like, yeah, the roster's intact. We haven't had any roster movement. The team's all here. One of those. She loves to pull out one of those. So for her to actually get out, well, don't tell us too much now. Relax there.
So your ears perked up too. Like I was seriously,
like,
I'm listening.
Whoa.
I was like watching back to your video, and I'm like, what?
Well,
like, did she just actually give like some information on
anytime we
health
ask
of the team?
Anything about health, I fully just expect it to be nothing. So, whatever. It was nice. It was nice to hear. I was like, yeah. She was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun she's always fun to talk to. She was extra fun to talk to yesterday.
Yeah. So once again, we encourage you guys to go out there tomorrow evening on your New Year's Day for Hawaii versus UC Riverside at 7:00 p.m. at Banco Arena at San Sheriff Center. And then Saturday, again hosting UC San Diego. Once again, the men play on the road at Riverside and UC San Diego, and then men's volleyball on Friday and Sunday. And we are starting off this new year of 2026. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, hawaiisportsradio.com. Streaming live on our YouTube channel. Usually we stream every Monday, but every now and then we throw in a special live stream, and definitely today on the final show of 2025. What's up?
Wait, have you? No, you're not on TikTok, but so with the new Wicked movie, there's the Madam Marble, flip it around, Wicked Witch. So there's this sound on TikTok, and all I could think of, I'm like, oh yeah, our Monday show, flip it around, Wednesday YouTube show. So I'm over here giggling over something stupid like that. But that was all I could think of was Madam Marvel, Wicked Witch, Monday show, Wednesday show.
Oh, no.
Happy New Year,
Like,
almost,
that just
guys.
reminds me of like the thing that took over 2025 with their 6-7.
Exactly. It was one of those, like, I couldn't help it. As soon as you said it, I was like, MW, wait.
No.
Whatever.
I've passed the point of like irritation with that whole trend. I'm just like,
What, 6-7,
I'm just like, yeah.
8-9. Right?
8-9.
That
Eight,
was
nine.
the thing the Grinch did.
That's what the Grinch did. He did 8-9 with the like hand movements this way because 6-7 is this way. So like, I'm just like, whatever at this point. All the millennials still joke though that like kids these days don't, 3, 6, 9. Damn you fine. One more time, get low. Get low. Come on,
Take
kids.
me
Bring
back
it.
to Groton Middle School cafeteria right there.
Woo!
Some great middle school and high school dances to that song.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Speaking
and
of,
Auntie. Jeez,
speaking
bro.
of going, I was gonna say, I don't know. You said middle school. I was like living it up in the clubs when that's.
So was I. Just the middle school cafeteria. We dress it up like a club, Got
Man.
the flashing lights, the DJ in there.
Shout out Pipeline Cafe. Oh my gosh. I remember my 21st birthday I spent, and I'm one of my best friends at the time. She had the same birthday as I did. And our 21st birthday was at Pipeline Cafe. And that is not there anymore. It is now the UFC gym here in Kakako.
Very similar. Very similar. UFC gym and...
It was very funny when I went into UFC gym Kakako for the first time and was like, yep, the bar was over there and like dance floor was over there, the stage is over there, the upper part is over there. It's just like, wow, because the structure is the same. They kept the structure and it's just
very
changed
switched
everything
around.
else. So it's just so funny. Like, oh man, I mean, perfect timing to kind of go down, start our little trip down memory lane. Looking back on 2025, again, we encourage you guys to chime in some of your favorite sports memories, or if you want to share personal memories, you can chime in on the live chat or text us at 808-888-KGU1. That's 808-888-5481. And I kind of joked, and I was mentioned this earlier, but a couple of days ago, I told Paul, let's prep for the New Year's show. Like, just kind of think about your top 3 sports moments of 2025 and maybe a couple of personal moments. And when I started to do my own prep for the show, I'm like,
never mind.
I really did text Paul, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll just go chronologically.
We got there.
And just talk about what has happened in 2025, because there is really no trying to limit it to just 3. Like, I'm sure if we
could
had
try.
to, but it's more fun to kind of talk about all of the moments, and again, encourage you guys to share some with us. I did want to start here though, because and this is like a sports/work moment that happened for all of us, and show when we talk about looking back at old photos from the year, pulling this up for you guys that are watching on YouTube, and I'll describe it for everyone that's listening. So in case anyone forgot, we moved studios like to start off our year of 2025, where I'm like, I can't believe we've been here for almost a year in our new studios. So I have like a photo up there of us kind of breaking down our old studio, which was just up the road. So it's not like we moved too far away from previously. We were right next to Richie's before. Now we are with the Hawaii News Now building. But yeah, like our old studio, taking it apart and moving out of there, and moving into our blank space of a studio here in this new building that we are in. Again, they were still putting the pieces together, no decorations whatsoever on the wall. It's completely blank and white with not even the chairs were different. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, looking back on that, it's just all and we were doing the show, the YouTube show for a while without any decorations either. And it was very plain. So I'm sure if we look back on that, it's going to be, very. And now, like you guys see the studio we're in now, that we have all of the sound stuff on the walls and we have our flags up and sometimes they fall down. And
yes, they do.
We got like the chairs and our decorations and stuff in here. So it is pretty cool to look back and remember that, man, that's how we started off our year, was moving. And I mentioned this earlier, like I haven't really moved. It's so weird when we have to move, because I haven't moved much for like my life. Like I grew up in the same home as a kid my entire life. Like my family never moved. That was always our home. And I just didn't know what it was like to move. I think I moved once with my previous company. We had to move offices. And then this time around, I'm like, gosh, I don't know how you guys that move often like do it, because I commend you. And it's not even like we're moving a whole house. It's not moving that much stuff compared to people that move homes. But I'm just like, dang. And it's just, oh, goodbye, old memories. But yeah, it was kind of a neat thing to look back at photos of just the old, not only the old studios, but looking at the old control room and everything like that, and just think, that's how we started our year, Paul, is moving studios, and here we are.
So it's funny, you actually posted on social media, I think it was yesterday, the picture of the old studio and then obviously our new home here. And I actually am one of the people who had forgotten that had happened this year. It felt so long ago, and to be fair, at this point it is so long ago. But yeah, it's crazy to think that the move happened this year. I got a car. I went from driving.
Oh, yes.
I went from driving the moped in the rain, even though, ironically enough, I took the moped in today. So we went from the parking garage, and I had my little clicker over there, to now we've got the lovely people here with the parking garage here, and the security and all that. So that was a nice little shift to I'll call it an upgrade. I love our little studio here. Our soccer ball walls are very, very fun, different paraphernalia all around the studio, because we got a little bit of everything for the beautiful people. No, it's crazy to think that this year has flown by and that we've spent already so much time in this studio, and also at the same time so little time in this studio.
Right? So yeah, again, shout out to everyone that came along for the ride, and the regular viewers of the YouTube. You kind of seen our transition from the old studio to the blank walls in the new studio, and to now the dressed up studio that we are here at today. We got to take a break. I want to get real quick though. We had a comment that it doesn't have to do with the New Year's stuff. Again, feel free to chime in with your memories as we continue that through the rest of the show, recapping 2025. But we did get a comment in the chat asking about men's volleyball. ESPN Plus doesn't show the men's volleyball game versus NJIT on the app. Can you help me, please? So it might not be there now. Well, first of all, you have to be outside of Hawaii. If you're trying to watch them at any of the Big West or UH games here in Hawaii, it's blacked out in Hawaii. You can only watch it on Spectrum Sports. It is a televised game on Spectrum / I'm looking at the men's volleyball schedule, and it does say that it will be on ESPN Plus for those games against NJIT on Friday and Sunday. So you have to be outside of Hawaii. That's one thing, or else you'll get blacked out. Two, I'll go check, but I don't know how early they post that the game is on there. So I don't know if you're just trying to look for it now. But yes, it should be on there. According to the website, they'll have the game on ESPN Plus. But the main thing is, if you can't be in Hawaii, or else it'll be blacked out. So I hope that kind of answers your question. I'll go see if we'll take a break, and I'll go see if it's there, if we can see it on the app. It is not on the app. Okay.
From what I can see, but it should eventually come up in the new year. If we hear anything differently, I will be sure to put it out on social as soon as I know. But yeah, as of now, because I just checked on ESPN Plus for me, and it is also not there as of now. But also, there are no men's volleyball games on. There's 3 men's volleyball, and none of them are. So, as of now, I would say patience.
We'll check on Friday. when the game is actually happening. If it's not there Friday morning, then we riot on social media
I will
and we bully them for
show
putting
up
it
to
back on
Banco
there.
Arena and I will go, hey, I have a friend in my YouTube chat who really wants to see. So we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, but thank you for asking. I hope we can help you with that. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Back to more Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to all of you, the beautiful list of all the beautiful people. It's Wake Up in the Den, Ku'ulei Agbayani and Paul Brecht on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, HawaiiSportsRadio.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel for a special New Year's Eve live stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Definitely every single Monday on the YouTube, and every now and then a special throughout the week. And we'll see, maybe we'll be on here also on Friday. But again, we appreciate any of you that tune in either live or on demand, and that is why you are the beautiful list of all the beautiful people. We're recapping 2025 here. Started off with just reminiscing about the fact that we moved homes. We were in one studio to begin the year and then moved on over about mid-January, I think, moved into these new studios. So coming up on a year to being in this new place. I was looking back at, maybe we'll go through some of the highlights, at least for me, and then I'll kick it to you, Paul, more of the first half of the year, looking back at definitely flag football. Being a Hawaii high school, a sanctioned Hawaii high school sport was really, really cool to look back on. And being on the broadcast with Kyle Galdera, I thought that was just such a significant moment in girls sports here and girls and women's sports across the country as it continues to grow. And there's more and more opportunities now to play girls flag football. And so I thought that was a really significant thing that happened in 2025 and really cool for me just on a professional level to be able to call a girls flag football game again and then crown the first OIA champs in Moanalua and then crown the first state champs in Campbell. So shout out to those schools and definitely just all the ladies that there were some, and I think that looking back, it's really cool because there were a lot of dual sport athletes that were on there, including wrestlers and, of course, soccer players. But I thought it was really neat when it came to flag football to hear a lot of the stories from these schools that some of these young ladies have never played a sport in high school, and they decided to go out for the flag football team. Felt like it was, it wasn't as intimidating. They thought, let me just try to play this sport. So I thought that was one of the coolest things, is to hear the stories that there were some young ladies that played this organized high school sport, able to get a letter, have senior nights, all of that stuff that they maybe never had planned to in high school. I thought that was just such a significant moment to highlight, again, looking at the first half of this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you think back of the first half of the year, for me, I think back of all the championships that were won by UH Sports. I think of all the high school championships that we got an opportunity to be at. I can't help but also highlight the flag football season. Just from the start, I thought it was cool to be there for the very beginning, and for the first championship all the way through. It was an incredibly fun time. I think back to the walk-off Rainbow Warriors, the baseball team that was, as electrifying gets. And then you look at the Division II ranks as well and think about Dane Fujinaka's squad and the year that they put together, one of the best offensive years in Sharks program history. And, I won't even just say Sharks program history. Toss the mongooses, the mongoose.
Oh, yeah. Mongooses.
Mongai. Manungai?
Manungai? Don't get me started, Paul.
Sorry. Sea Warriors. Anyway, but a great year for them as well. The send-off for Bob Coolin is one that really, really sticks in my mind, where I thought it was incredibly special to have so many players from his career come back to celebrate him one last time. And then obviously to have the tournament in his final year is really, really cool as well. So I think about all of that. And then, of course, how can you not talk about the championships won between, the Rainbow Wahine basketball team and just an all-time group of seniors there. And then the men's volleyball team, a young group that dealt with a bunch of injuries and maybe arrived earlier than they were scheduled to, winning the Big West. So those are the ones in the early part of the year that stick out in my mind the most. Especially, you know me, every time I can toss a volleyball game in there.
Well, it's funny because I actually had that in here too on my notes. I said men's volleyball Big West champs, and then it was cool because I got to go to Ohio for the first time and watch the Final Four in Ohio State, which, not the result they wanted, but the X's, it was going to be...
I meant sorry about going to Ohio.
It was still pretty cool.
Cold.
Would I ever
probably
go? It wasn't actually not that cold. But again,
anyway.
I'm like the opposite of a Hawaii person, and I like the cold. So it's just like...
It's fair. You've been to New York.
I love the cold. But no, it was really cool to go to a new state, go to a new stadium, and experience all of that stuff there to see the men's volleyball team and do the tour of the horseshoe, all of that stuff. So it's kind of like blending the sports memories with just personal memories as well. And you mentioned Bob Coolin, and it's almost like the changing of the guard on both sides, right? Because you look at our friends at HPU, Coach Shorty, she moved on as well, and like HPU has a new softball coach, and UH has a new softball coach heading into next year with their seasons coming along. And just to add to your point about HPU baseball, they made the championship game. Like, that was pretty cool in the Pac West tournament. They made the championship.
Should have made the national tournament.
And then got snubbed in the national stuff. Yeah,
Whatever.
We don't want to talk about that. They're going to make no doubt this coming season.
Leave no doubt should be
they're going to win
phrase.
the Pac West this time. All around with those sports that we cover. And speaking of Chaminade, one of the personal memories, I think this happened in the summer, that's why, is that I was asked and I obliged to MC the Silver Swords Gala. It did have to twist my arm a little bit because it's kind of funny. And even though I talked to all of you guys on YouTube and on the radio, our million, and now since I met some people at the Aloha for Kansai, we're at like 1,010,500.
Ooh.
So even though I talked to like over a million of you guys, I still do not like public speaking. It's different when I'm just only looking at Paul or the camera.
That's fair.
And when I have to look at more people's eyeballs staring at me. So shout out to the people at Chaminade for asking me to do it. But it did take some convincing and I kind of, so that was an accomplishment for me. It's like, all right, cool. I just do it. Like, you got to go and MC this Chaminade, again, the Silver Swords Gala. So that was kind of a neat little tie-in personally. for me anyways. All right, let's one other thing I wanted to point out, you kind of did mention women's basketball and said aloha to a good core of seniors from the women's basketball team, but I also wanted to make note of the cool jersey design contest that really went viral for our women's basketball team with the Surf City jerseys. And then I have one. Every time I wear it to a game, people are always asking me, like, where do I get that jersey? I'm like, well, you don't have good friends like my friend Kaipo, who would bid on multiple jerseys and was like, hey, do you want this one? I'm like, sure.
I would love it, actually.
And then I just love, because the number is like 99. And
that's so fun.
Yeah, and like he's like, I don't know if you wanted 99. I was like, now I just tell everyone when they ask me about the number, I was like, I got 99 problems.
But the Rainbow Wahine won.
So so the Surf City jerseys, shout out to Uncle Kevin, aka our friend Casey, and kind of making that happen at the University of Hawaii. So that was really, really cool. All right, transitioning into kind of the summer back half of the year, I think probably the most significant thing, and that's why it was cool that we had him in here yesterday at his exact 6-month mark, because that first half of the year, a lot of question marks and a lot of uncertainty when it came to the University of Hawaii athletics department.
It was good that they were winning because, man, off the field.
Yeah, it was very like, this is the new time in college sports. We need a direction. We need an AD. All of that stuff. You've heard it throughout the beginning half of the year on this show, and then the search process, yada, yada, yada. Matt Elliott gets hired in the summer, and then 6 months in, he joined us yesterday to chit chat, and it was pretty cool. So that was a big moment and a turning point to go into the second half of 2025. That Matt Elliott has been on the job for officially six months yesterday. And there you go.
It was a big change, but an important one, and we kind of got into it yesterday about all of the important things and why it is important, because college athletics never stop. That's why we were so worried about it last spring, and why it was such an important hire with so much winning going on. And Matt Elliott, to his credit, has done a nice job since taking over in these 6 months, not just being active, but also taking the time to listen and learn so that he can put Hawaii in the best seat possible going forward into the future. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing from the summer. I also want to give a shout out to Special Olympics Hawaii.
Oh, you beat me to it. I had that on my notes. Dang it, Paul, you beat me to it. I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out to them, and you can continue it on because I'm sure you have the names of the specific people who should be thanked. But that was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I thought it was really, really special to see the opportunity to compete for all of these young men and women, and not so young men and women, people of all ages, I should say. It was really, really cool. It was an awesome opportunity for us that we got to call some of the action as well. I thought it was really, really special. So that I wanted to make sure that we brought that up, and a shout out to Special Olympics Hawaii for that summertime, because that was a really fun thing for us.
That was really cool. And I'm glad we were both on the same page because, yes, I had that in my notes too. So shout out, echoing that, shout out to Special Olympics and all of the athletes who competed. And I look forward to potentially covering it in the summer once again, along with the Chase Numata Senior All-Star Game is something else that we do kind of when the summertime comes as well. All right, we're going to take our final break of 2025. We'll be back to close it out here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
Wake Up in the Den with Ku'ulei Agbayani on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Here, final show of 2025 on the Hawai'i Sports Radio Network. Thank you guys for hanging out with us the entire year, tuning in live every weekday morning from 8 to 10 or on demand or via our YouTube, as well as we are live on YouTube for this New Year's Eve. We're kind of recapping 2025, and yes, another big year for UH Athletics. We mentioned that kind of the second half of the year was under new leadership with Matt Elliott getting hired in the summer. Yesterday marked his 6-month mark officially, so we had him in studio. If you missed that, you can listen or watch it on demand if you haven't seen it available on our YouTube channel yet. Really good interview. We had to kind of cram a lot of stuff in 30 minutes because he had to go off to a meeting, but we appreciate his time and spending the last second to the last day with us. All right, looking at the back half of the year, I think a lot of people will remember this football season, the best football season under head coach Timmy Chang. The comeback win in the Hawaii Bowl. I know Caesar said his favorite sports moment, which I'm sure you're not alone, Caesar, was that game-winning touchdown from Luke Weaver to Nick Senecal. Again, wishing Luke Weaver all the best as he announced that he intends to enter the transfer portal coming up on Friday. But I think even going back, though, is really cool that we were able to collaborate with our friends at VSiN to bring them down here with Tim Murray and Matt Humans doing a couple of their shows live from Ching. And then from the shout out to our friend Dara from Kyoya, who got us set up in the nice presidential suite at the Sheraton. So they did a show from there, and it was just really cool to work with them. And then we got a good game. We got a walk-off field goal by Kansei Matsuzawa. So to start off the entire football season, the back half of the year was just, it was awesome. And then we all know how it ended. So it was really cool to kind of have those significant moments to start the season and then to end the season and do things that were new once again. Like I feel like every new year, you want to make sure you're growing and you're doing new things. And so that was a really cool way to start off the football season with that collaboration with VSiN.
Agreed. It was a lot of fun, couple of great guys, a lot of great people in general that work over at VSiN who always allow us to do fun things when we go to the continent, and then now when they come here, it's fun to work with them. That was a great way to start the year. We sandwiched the year with a pair of wins that are very similar, where you go down double digits to the ACC and then you come back and beat them. So what more could you really ask for? It was a great year on the football field in general, high school football as well, provided, I mean,
new state champ.
I was going to say the most unpredictable state championship matchup of at least the time that I've been here, and if not longer. And it lived up to the hype with, I mean, one of the coolest moments, a game-winning touchdown, a walk-off touchdown, and I mean, just a really special moment there. Shout out to Eva Beach and Campbell. Coach DJ.
Kings and queens of football.
It's funny. They saw how the ladies did it to start the year, and they were like, oh, maybe that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then they did it. Also, bad job by me. I meant to throw this in there, too, in our previous segment. Shout out to the Rainbow Wahine water polo team as well, who were in the Final Four, one of the best seasons in program history as well. Also Big West champions and all of that in the new leadership of Coach James Robinson. So wanted to throw that in there as well, not leave them by the wayside, because they should not have a 2025 that was forgotten at all. But yeah, the gridiron treated us very well, it seemed like, in 2025.
And then, like the shirt you're wearing, the Tokyo Toe phenomenon that happened.
The year of the Tokyo Toe. I mean, what more could you ask for? And it started on that day, I almost said that night, but that day against Stanford with the walk-off and him swinging his finger around, Chef jumping into his arms. I don't think I'll ever be able to get that visual out of my mind, and the electricity, the smile that was radiating from my face because I knew how much that meant to those guys. It was cool to see. That was a great moment, and it was only a precursor to what was to come for Kansei Matsuzawa as the year went on, getting his own coffee brand on top of everything else.
Speaking of celebrations, want to make sure we mention the massive HPU Sharks men's basketball upset win at Boise State. I mean, that is definitely one for the record books, and shout out to Jesse Nakanishi and the Sharks, because that was just an incredible win. Again, upset in another territory, and that just they played with nothing to lose. So once again, shout out to them, because that was a massive basketball, a core memory for sure.
It was
that
insane.
We can celebrate here.
It was insane. It's funny. We were going through our photos last night, like you said, and I was looking at it and I was like, man, I really wish we had one from that game that was like our photo, because it would, no matter what, no matter the quality of it, I'd be like, I'm going to repost this at the end of the year for May. But no, a great year for HPU that they hope to continue on, and it's been a great start to the year for the men's basketball team, who added Patty Mills and has been doing some great roots and reach outreach as well to continue on, and they deserve some credit for that. As I mean, all UH teams and really just all college teams out here, it seemed like, have put the emphasis on giving back even more in 2025 than ever before, and that's been really, really cool to see.
Man, this end of the show is ticking up on us
I know,
so fast. I want to
so
make
fast.
sure we remember those that we lost in 2025 for sure. We don't want to end the show without that. I know one of the significant people in my life in terms of the sports career, want to give a shout out to the Robs Ohana and Don Robs. We do have actually his photo that's in here, along with Pops, a.k.a. Jim Leahy. They kind of hang out next to each other in our studio with these little sign things that were made during one of the games. So Don Robs, that we lost earlier in this year. Also shout out to Ron Yee. He was a longtime men's basketball supporter that was always sitting behind where we sit at games and always doing the yelling for me sometimes. So Ron Yee, again, an avid supporter of the men's basketball team. Merv Lopes, the legendary former Chaminade coach that was part of that major upset in the Maui Invitational. So Merv Lopes, the one that, and a lot of outpouring of love for Coach Lopes as well. And non-sports related, but Brada Fiji, the guy that really touched all of Hawaii and beyond with his incredible voice and his music. And you could see the outpouring of love that came out for Brada Fiji. That, man, that was, and we had like a whole week of just hearing Fiji songs the entire time.
Week
so
to play 'em.
Again, that wanted to make sure we kind of reminisced about the memories of some of those people before we get out of here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to recognize those that we lost. We lost a lot of legends this year, and to anybody who's also going through the holiday season feeling a little empty around the house this year, sending our best to you and Joro Hana as we go through it, because I know that it's not always fun. It's not just sports legends, it's everybody all around. And even with some sports legends, maybe they touched your life in some way that it feels a little more empty without them this year. So sending a little extra love to you this holiday season without them.
All right, Paul, wrapping it up here. Maybe share a couple of fun personal memories before we bow out of here from 2025 and looking forward to 2026.
Yeah, first year fully married. That was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Fun year. We got a chance to go to a couple of games, got a chance to go to San Francisco. That was really, really fun. Anything else? I visited my friend for his bachelor party. He got married. I was in a wedding. And, I'm going to be a dad. Shout out to my lovely wife, who has been killing it during a long pregnancy thus far. We're expecting a beautiful little baby girl come right around the end of March, early April-ish. If
March Madness.
So if I disappear right after the national championship, or right around then, right after the Bows win the national championship in both, men's basketball and the middle of the men's volleyball season, that's why. So we are expecting. Shout out to my lovely wife, who is as troopers. Yeah, so she rocks.
There we go. And the news is out. Shout out to all of you guys that, again, have continued to support us. So that's one of the things I've been hinting at, that next year is a big year for a lot of stuff. There's other stuff, too, we're working on the HSRN side, but there's a lot of life changes that are going to happen in 2026. So definitely, Paul, with the biggest change. Looking back this year, it's just, again, an incredible year. My first time to Europe, personally, in that vacation we went on. The best Cubs game I've ever been to. Definitely definitely. And I know Caesar had posted in here that, the memories of and celebrating Ben Johnson. So, yes, hopefully that's a future is bright moment in 2026 with Ben Johnson leading the Bears. Hopefully at least one win in the playoffs. But we will see what happens. And again, I hope you guys have a great new year and stay safe. Take care of each other. We will chat with you guys on Friday. Encourage you guys to go support the Rainbow Wahine tomorrow on New Year's Day. But other than that, once again, thank you so much for your support in 2025. And we will see you in 2026. For Paul Brecht, I'm Ku'ule Agbayani. Bye. Happy New Year.
KGU AM.